Welcome to the Sci-Fi Center, the place to be, where comic books and wrestling collide magically. Movies, TV shows, and pop culture we share. Get ready to rock, we're here to take you there. From superheroes to aliens in outer space, we've got the latest news and reviews in our embrace. Turn on your screen, let the neon lights glow. We'll take you back to the 80s. Let's rock and roll. Sci-Fi Center, where the legends come alive. Get ready to geek out, let your imagination fly. We're diving into the past with a touch of modern flair. Sci-Fi Center, the ultimate pop culture lair. Calm down and get your teeth to gift at the Sci-Fi Center. We got almost everything a geek could want at the Sci-Fi Center. You name it, we got it. Star Trek, Star Wars, Marvel, DC, and everything in between at the Sci-Fi Center.
Welcome to Friday. Yay, finally made it. 108 degrees today, not a problem. Welcome to the Midnight Express. This is going to be a quick show because I got a lot that I'm kind of working on several streams, and then I got to get up earlier than I'm used to tomorrow. So we're going to talk for about an hour. No real topic. Next topical show. Oh, tomorrow night we around, I'm going to say 10ish, we're going to do the original Friday the 13th. We did last time we did a Friday the 13th. We did a part 3 in 3D. So this time I am almost assuredly going to do part 1 unless plans change. But hey, this week's shows and next week's and the weeks after that shows until it is released is brought to you by Megan 2.0. I'm no certain people in my chat are going to be ecstatic that this promotion is finally here. The murderous doll who captivated pop culture in 2023 is back, and this time she's not alone. Megan 2.0 will be screening. We have a special screening here on the Monday the 24th. For those of you who are in Southern Nevada, Las Vegas, Kentucky area, Summerlin, if you would like to attend that screening, I will be giving away, I will probably start giving away seats mid next week to next weekend. And then obviously we're going to have wristbands, posters, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, the murderous doll who captivated, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, the original AI team that created the original phenomenon, led by Herd Titans James Wan for Atomic Monster and Jason Blum from Blumhouse, and director Gerard Johnstone. So if you like the first one, I am pretty sure you're going to like this one based on the trailers and based on the response. I don't know if I'm going to go see this one. Actually, I may have to because we may get more seats than usual for this one. So if it approaches 50, I have to be there because I don't want a little ticket person to get overwhelmed. But keep an eye out. We'll have T-shirts and stuff. I might give away some on air. So there you go. And I stalled long enough for Johnny Come Lately to actually show up.
Yeah. Hey, you know, Megan does one of the clips. She does kung fu on a kung fu dummy in it. So.
She also does a stupid dance that annoyed the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, so we're gonna see Megan do Wing Chun and do Kung Fu and do all kinds of martial arts in it.
The people who go see it, well,
that's there's zero chance that's not that people aren't going to love Megan. It's not going to be better than the
Listen, guys,
first one.
I know the vast majority of you
Do I need to play this clip?
don't care.
I'm going to play
about
this clip.
martial arts, all right?
I'm going to play this clip. I'm playing this damn clip.
Hold on. I know the vast majority of you don't hate Kung Fu. Well, I don't hate Kung Fu, but I know that's not our audience, not our market. I have offered this man his own world to talk himself to death, him and his sidekick, the Aussie, and he would rather come in here and drown our show and try to put me to sleep. I'm trying very hard to stay awake. It's the middle of the night. I have given you the platform. I've given you the keys to the Lamborghini. You can drive it anywhere you want to. Please don't bore me with this stuff. Stop.
I am pulling this damn clip up right now.
For what? For what purpose?
Show you how awesome this movie is
I
going
don't
to be.
care how awesome it's going to be.
I'm not playing this. I'm not playing the sound either, so we're not going to get Williamed. There, look at that.
It doesn't
Look
have
at
to be sound.
Look at that. Look at her going to town. This actually reminded me a lot of. There's a part in Alita kind of like that. Kind of remind me.
Another movie that would take the place of Ben and Joe for me.
Yeah.
You want me not to stay awake for the show? Do you want?
What have you got against kung fu cyborg chicks that are awesome?
It's cliche and it's lame.
No, nothing in that clip was lame. She just destroyed that wooden dummy with her hands.
All right. Well, let's before we lose our audience. But by the way, nearly 400 of you watched the show in the middle of the night last night. We didn't really do anything special. I mean, we talked.
Wrote down the trailer. I mean,
yeah, but we've been breaking down trailers for a while. We didn't hit that much. Well, actually, no. For Fantastic Four, I take that back. For when I did the Fantastic Four one that they made us wait, we did hit those numbers, and that was at a very, very odd time in the morning when they really tried to drive you away from that hour of NASA footage. Listen.
Oh yeah, this came out of nowhere today,
and can go back to nowhere as far as I'm concerned.
Rick Moranis, you're probably gonna see him on the screen again, I guess. So.
I don't think I didn't hear he's. Listen, here's the thing. Let me get this out of the way first. I don't fucking care about Spaceballs. I hated that movie when it came out. As a Star Wars fanatic, I fucking hated that movie. I know you comedy heads will laugh at anything. This is for you. They made this movie for you. They did not make this movie for me. I don't want to fucking hear about this movie. We're not going to discuss this movie. I cannot stand the original Spaceballs. I cannot stand it.
Oh, well, so real quick, Bell Rev, we're not ignoring you. What are you talking about? We just get one comment at a time.
Will you hurt my feelings? Never come by. Well, you stream. You stream at different hours. You are up on my hours of streaming, but you stream sometime in the day. I come by and say hi. I always tell you, I listen in, and I make sure you're okay. As soon as you start dropping F-bombs, I'm like, okay, she's doing all right. But no, Spaceballs. I think it may have been Aaron. But listen, guys, hard pass. I lost a bet. And I was forced to see Spaceballs. Under no circumstances will I be discussing taking place
Mel
or
Brooks.
giving two shits about. And all respect to Mel Brooks. He
was about to turn 99 years old.
182-year-old old, still kicking, still making movies. For those of you who, for whatever reason, I cannot fathom, have been waiting for a sequel to this dreck for your entire lives, you have my congratulations. Congratulations. I am never going to talk down something that people have been waiting for that you finally get. Lord knows I've waited for a lot of things, and when I've gotten them, I've loved them. But for as far as like an in-depth discussion about Spaceballs, fuck no. Sorry. Okay.
No shit. The dude is literally like about 2 weeks away from turning 99 years old, which means by the time
Dick Van Dyke, knock on wood. Dick Van Dyke's another one. These people they ate from the root, man. They do.
Which means that by the time Spaceballs 2 comes out, we're gonna have a centenarian director of this. He's gonna be doing press for this. It's like, man, I really hope I get the chance to interview him for it, because that's like I'm interviewing a 100-year-old dude.
You better fucking hurry up. Okay, so you guys love making me suffer. You definitely love making Brad suffer. So, but you know what it is? It's the month of June. You know it's next month, right? Comic-Con.
Month of July. Yes,
it's Comic-Con.
Crazy. I thought you were going to say it's like the month of like Superman and Fantastic Four and Jurassic World, all
secondary
that kind of
nonsense
shit.
to me going to Comic-Con. And in order for me to, not have to sift through the back dumpsters of restaurants and, put on my dark glasses and and have a can standing next to me saying, can you help a brother out? I want to, eat in style. So yes, this is the month. Well, I will take bids on watching some of the silliest shit that I know you guys have been clamoring for me to have to sit through. We'll absolutely destroy these movies, but if you want to sit and watch me blow off time, my much valued time, it's it's that time of year.
Why don't we do a watch party for sinners? I mean, it's like, let's do. Is there
Well-
something like people like actually like?
Well, no, because like I said, the super chats come when they can make one of us suffer. So, like I said, this money's going directly to me. Not like I said, just like last year, the difference between me eating a bologna sandwich with no bread and maybe a decent burrito. Some dude, San Diego's has some nice burritos. I mean, I'm going for you guys. We're going to be presenting content for you guys. We'll be doing the Hall H thing, which would probably be a lot easier to get into because of the Marvel's not going to be there. The anchor the panel. And I'm going to do a lot. I'm more equipped this year to and I'm going to have some people with me that's going to help me bring you the show that I really wanted to bring. I thought we did a good job last year. There were some kinks in the plan that I had no control over, like, sleeping conditions. We'll go into that some other year. But that was very disruptive. That all joking aside, that was very disruptive. That I did not give you the Hall H coverage that I really want. I did my best. I mean, I was updating you guys as soon as we could, and I was posting live stuff. As soon as Robert Downey Jr. took off that match, you guys knew about it from us. So I'm going to try to do that this year. But I also want to we set up interviews with people last year, but it was so chaotic that, it was such a, chaotic event that some of the people I never got to get to, but I'm going to try harder to do that. Do it with some of the people that'll be at Amazing Comic-Con are also going to be at San Diego Comic-Con. I really, really, really want to interview J. Scott Campbell either here in Vegas or there in Comic-Con. So yeah, all kinds of expenses and stuff like that, yeah. So now is the time. Like, well, watching the good stuff like Sinners, that's nothing. That's no suffering there. But I'm pretty sure Howard the Duck. I know Clint wants Howard the Duck in October. I know he'll contribute. I know
like that so much, Clint.
I know Chappie's out there with any measure of absurd films that he wants us to watch. So once again, this is your time when I will entertain that because, like I said, you're going to help me go to Comic-Con in style so I can report to you from the ground like a true journalist. All right. So yeah. So there you go, Rational. That's what that's
do my job for a couple days, basically.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not. I'm skipping all the Spaceballs comments, guys. Sorry.
Oh yeah. So I looked at it more. It's 2027. That's when Amazon MGM are trying to have it out. So he will be 101 years old by the time.
And he'll probably still be alive. Planning.
That man is going to outlive all of us.
Planning a trilogy. They'll never get notifications. Yeah, I never get notifications of your stream. Sometimes I just know you're on. It'll tell me you're on. Yeah. It was fun. I didn't go. It wasn't like it wasn't like the Grapes of Wrath or something. I mean, it was all right. It was fun. I mean, that was about it. I highly doubt that, but hey, who knows, dude? Hello, Antonio Baker.
Bell says stop by at Triangle Burger. Will, oh wait, never mind. You're in the South already. That's a good observation.
I'm not even going to point out that.
I don't know why I thought it was in Sac. You
thought it was in San Diego? No, it's in. Yeah, you're that's up north. I'd rather clip my own wings and see this Megan movie. All right, well there you go. We all have different, vastly different opinions on an array of movies here. I mean,
you're getting in a Williams Soul thing where he does the analogy of like I'd rather like like this bad thing it's on the way. As Williams says, like I'd rather like pluck my own nose hairs out with like a nail clipper or something. Wherever he has very creative analogies. So yes, Daniel, everybody was awesome. We all agree. So that's actually going to take
Yeah,
a while.
I'm starting to think that didn't make any money. It didn't make the money, but two for two reasons. A, in the place of a man, and usually these Kevin movies, and that's not the norm. And B, maybe people just show up for John Wick, which is going to be hard to get a universe started because he can't be in every movie.
Well,
so.
see, and but again, that's like I think that's like I don't know. There's a lot of consternation around this. I think a lot of it's really misguided because we're talking about a spin-off as opposed to like a mainline entry. It's like that's always apples to oranges when you're talking about like commercial.
Well, but the audience is going to make their decision based on do they care about a spinoff, no matter how good it is. If it's not, you see, and I'm not saying this is right or fair because I know I saw the movie. I know what I think of that movie, but the people, their core audience, if their core audience isn't buying the spinoffs, then there might be an issue with the spinoffs because not saying that they're bad movies or the ones that they're conceiving are bad movies. But if these people came for John Wick, maybe the world of John Wick is not going to be enough. And the fact that you got the misogyny of now this, we can't buy a woman doing this kind of stuff.
Again, it's also that, her, her character is, compared to other like side characters who are getting like Kane or like other characters who've been proposed for spinoffs, these are characters that we've already seen in the John Wick movies, so they have like an established.
I don't think his movie is going to do well either.
I don't know. I don't think it's going to do as well as like number 4, but that's a real high point.
I don't think it's going to come close to any of those. I think the bigger issue, to be honest with you, I think the misogyny is part of it, but I think it's a smaller part of it. I think that this franchise may not have draw outside of John Wick movies, and it's not going to Donnie Yen. That's not going to. But also, it didn't have draw at all until like because again, remember the first one was you look at like how it's performed like up to this point. The first one was not like a runaway like. None of the John Wick movies.
The first one was the only one that didn't clear 100. It like, which again, for the money they spent on it, it did very well. But again, it wasn't like it didn't like shatter records or anything. But it started the momentum that the franchise has been able to capitalize on. And the point I've been kind of making with Ballerina is that the best point of comparison really is the originals. Like if this manages to like approximate the original, I'd say that's a pretty good start for a spinoff.
No, because you start with Ballerina with the notoriety of John Wick, or you wouldn't be doing the Ballerina. See, that's a problem there. And like I said, this is objectively speaking, not I can't, my bias that I like the movie has nothing to do with it. I don't think that, and it's the numbers are saying this, and this is not something I enjoy saying. I don't think that outside of if it doesn't have Keanu Reeves on it at this point, I don't think that the core audience that makes up the financial base for what this is, to be that has made less than 500 million on its best day, I don't think there's enough there. I don't think they're gonna go for it, and that sucks because I think the world is entertaining. I think the mythology is entertaining, but I don't think that there's going to be the carryover for the spinoffs as there was towards him, like I said, because it took 10 years to get to a $400 some odd million movie. So I just don't think there's enough interest there, and that's fucking sad. I mean, I wish people would have seen the movie. I thought that was a great movie, but I think there's an issue there, and I don't know if Kane. I don't think Kane would be Ballerina. I think it would even out. And there's no evidence to say it would, because the only movie that you had outside that wasn't John Wick as the main character did not do well. And it was a great movie. So now the average person knows who Anna de Armas, because she's been on a lot of things. I'm going to make a good bet outside of Kung Fu heads that if you had Donnie Yen tattooed on your fucking chest, that no one would know who he was. That's a problem when you're trying to sell a franchise without Keanu Reeves. And I'm not saying that's the right way that the general public should think, but I'm looking at the numbers. That box office, if there is a fair in box office, that's not fair. You're going to tell me that movie does not deserve way more money than that movie made? But to me, that screams that John Wick is the attraction. You can't put out a movie as good as The Ballerina was, and not have it do way better than that, and to me not come to that realization. So I don't know how they're going to do these other ones, because now you're taking lesser known people. Yeah, they are known within that franchise, but even without him, even if those are known people in that franchise, unless John Wick is going to be the main person in that movie, I don't know if it flies. And I wish I were wrong. We promoted the shit out of Ballerina, and I love that movie.
I'm
that
going
movie
again
was
this weekend
fucking
for
great.
it.
But I would have me and
I
he
still
would have
gotta
to
do
go a bunch of times to make up for it, and I just can't. I just that's the only realization that I can come to. Usually, if it's a crap movie, you can be like, "Oh, it's a shit movie." That's shit word of mouth. Most of the people that I know saw the movie thought it was fine. But I also think it's the headline. It's just the same thing with superhero movies. If you have established something in your franchise as an A-lister, John Wick in that franchise is the A-lister, and like with Thunderbolts, we know who the A-listers are in the MCU. A lot of times, a good amount of people just aren't going to give the other things a chance, and with the luxury of PVOD and streaming, they don't have to. It's not like they're missing out anymore. Like the old days, you didn't see that shit in the movie. See you at Blockbuster in 6 months. See you at HBO or whatever, or Showtime, and 6 months after that. Now they know Ballerina will be on. What's today? When did it get released? 6/4, right?
Yeah, today's a week out from release, so it got released on 6/7.
I guarantee you,
or 6. No, hell, 6/6.
We'll have a streaming date for Ballerina by the end of next week, if not mid next week. We're gonna watch that shit too, because you need to see it.
Now we're gonna do a Kung Fu watch along.
That's not Kung Fu watch along.
Yeah.
See, coming from the Kung Fu head, everything is Kung Fu watch along. The rest of us see an action movie, because there's not a lot of real. Dude, can you really? Yeah, it's martial arts, but there's a whole bunch of other shit in there. She's stabbing people. It was the skate martial arts.
No, that was improvised.
Our whole game is improvised, man.
No, trust me, I can watch this like point out like different disciplines.
Yeah, but
as they're happening.
But that appeals to you because for an obvious reason. That's a little bit different for everyone else. This has to draw amongst everyone else. And like I said, I when people say, "Well, just make a good movie," my inner self screams out bullshit, because we could do an entire marathon on movies that both of us have seen recently that were really good movies and didn't make shit.
Like, what else is coming out this week? Like this weekend, because that again, the second weekend, I think that also.
Don't you have How to Train Your Dragon came out this week?
Which
that's not going to be the same.
I didn't even know like that one snuck up on me. There had been like I knew about Lilo and Stitch, but like that snuck up on me. There was like a live action redoing of that.
Next time you're streaming, Bell, text me. Let me know. I'll come on there. I'll come on to your R-rated show.
I'd come on there too.
Don't let Brad in. But,
you ever let me on?
Let me in. But yeah, How to Train Your Dragon snuck up on me because I don't care about How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh, it's not one of the Disney ones. Okay.
I listen, dude. I'm not a big parody dude. We've gone over this too on our show. I hate.
I'm damn sure not a parody dude.
I'm not a parody,
but I love Spaceballs.
I as a Star Wars, and this is when Spaceball. What year did Spaceball?
87.
Oh, 87. 13, 14-year-old me was not having Spaceballs. I thought it was a joke, and I wasn't there for the joke.
Well, you're gonna love this. It's like I caught it on TV. It was like I don't think I even saw the whole movie. I probably saw just a part with Dark Helmet and opening up and see Rick Moranis under there. So when I saw Star Wars for the first time, I asked my dad, "Oh, is that Rick Moranis I'm going to see under this?" Because I saw it a little bit before I saw Star Wars.
Wow! I think lightning is going to strike down this show bi-coastal right now. Just the fact I have to edit that out. What time is it? 27:53. Oh my goodness, we just lost our sci-fi credibility card. But here's the thing: same thing with Galaxy Quest.
Fell when I was born in relation to Star Wars and Spaceballs.
I mean, the parents got to they can't let you near Spaceballs out. Star Wars. Galaxy Quest. I feel the same about Galaxy Quest. I loathe that movie.
Well, it is. I
for
mean,
the same
but
reason.
sorry, it's like it's ranked up there as like one of the
Yeah,
like
and,
number
and
7.
I
of
have
Star
I
Trek
have to
movies.
hold my backhand, and I have to restrain my backhand from giving somebody a crisp one when I hear.
I
that.
don't make the rules. That's just how the poll
That
went.
no,
son.
that no, those aren't the rules. So no, I'm not big. If you have a, I'm not like the Hot Shot. None of those movies. Any of those, like Brad, not as to a degree of Brad with all of them, because I don't care about Scary Movie one another. But when it's iconic stuff that's parodied, I just think of it as a joke and I dismiss it, and I just really don't like it. So Spaceballs has always been in that category. Before I was even an adult, I hated Spaceballs. Well, not a big deal. But hey, if you love Spaceballs, I know a lot of people love it. But like I said, I have an affinity for Star Wars as I was growing up, to where I didn't appreciate the jokes. I didn't get the jokes are stupid. Same thing with Galaxy Quest. Galaxy Quest to a certain degree, because you had old Trek fan that anything that came up that remotely resembled Star Trek, they wanted to aim at anything that was new Trek. Well, that's more Star Trek than just like what's the show with Seth MacFarlane, the Orville. You know how many times I had to clash with people. Like I would have my own little group that I'm talking to on some social media, maybe it's Facebook, and we're talking Star Trek, right? We're talking Star Trek. Listen, if you like Orville, I know for a fact that there are Orville groups out here, but don't come into my Star Trek group talking that Orville shit. It says Star Trek on the group title, not substitute Star Trek, not kind of like Star Trek. Star Trek. Go somewhere else. Get out. So no, I don't like parodies of the real. I like the real thing. All right. So I can't really laugh at I can't really laugh at Spaceballs, but I'm more of a scary movie guy.
How? Oh god, that just
Yeah, I don't think he's not saying scary movie. He's saying a scary movie as a
okay.
category.
Yeah,
Calm down, Brad. You see, you're having PTSD.
Reading those words, I'm a scary. I mean, it's bad enough. We got another installment of this horrible series coming to wreak havoc on the world more. It's like, come on, it's like, how does this franchise have fans?
Hey,
oh
listen.
yeah, I saw that when I was a kid, Droga. It's like I checked really that and Young Frankenstein. Those were my intro to Mel Brooks. I love both of those.
The only way you would get me to watch that is if you send me the Comic-Con style. I'm gonna need to make a banner so drop.
Please do this, guys, because I love Dracula Dead. I will totally do a watch party of that. Like Peter McNichol as Renfield, he is hilarious in that. Like that's particularly there's the part where he's having a lunch with one of the scientists, and it's like he just keeps eating bugs in front of him. He's like snatches a spider out of the air, and he's that movie's hilarious. Yeah. I love Dracula Dead. I'm loving it.
Listen, I saw the joy with people. I didn't know anybody was waiting for Spaceballs. I sure the fuck wasn't. But hey, I like people saying getting something or get something that they've been waiting for. That they may have thought they were never going to get. I would have never expected Mel Brooks to pop out of his coffin and say, "Hey, fuck, I'm 99. Let's do Spaceball." But he did, so I'm happy for you. I want you guys if I ever get a Mindhunter season 3, you're going to see me being happy for. So I'm not going to piss on your parade. But when you ask me, "Hey, William, you're a Star Wars guy," and I just want to do. I wish I could do the Force joke. When somebody asked me today, "You're a Star Wars guy. What do you think about Spaceballs?" You know what? As a Star Wars guy, I don't think about Spaceballs. All right, you shouldn't even be mixing that. That's like I said, you're a Star Trek guy. How about Orville? And I'm like, dude, I want to teleport you to the sun, but that would be too quick. I want suffering when it comes.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Oh, it wasn't very good.
What
was the one I couldn't? I got. What was the other one that I just couldn't even get out of?
There is no possibility that you're not trolling me with this comment.
Well, you're talking about parodies. What's the bar? The bar is not high there.
Yes. Well, no, the bar is high. It's Young Frankenstein. That's the bar. It's Young Frankenstein. It's Blazing Saddles. It's Dracula Dead. Loving it. It's back with parodies with airplanes. The actual funny parodies. That's the bar. And Scary Movie does not meet that bar by like 8 million light years.
I don't need Pizza the Hut back. I don't need the helmet back. I don't need Tim. I don't need Tim Ruth doing that stupid ass joke for the 1,000th time. I didn't get shit. I don't care. I don't. You guys, I could, but enjoy it, guys. Enjoy Spaceballs, but it will never. No, like I said, not for free.
Marlon Wayans is asking, yeah. I bet there's like, because and that's the thing is like that's what another problem I have with the series is they write the script like a weekend before they start filming it, and all they do is like just grab, okay, this is popular,
What
this
the
is
fuck is this?
people
Oh,
know what
sick
this
day.
is. It's like I would not be surprised. I would not be the least bit surprised if if they in the next scary movie if they partially spoof Zack Snyder's Justice League on it, and I would not find any humor in that because it's again.
You know what? I
It's
would
not,
find humor in it, but I would get people saying, "What's that about?" You know what? Hey, let me show you Zack Snyder's Justice League. Yeah, I had
yeah,
conversation.
but it's not a scary movie. You see what I'm saying? They're so
None of
focused.
this shit is. I mean, listen, I'm glad my suffering and sleeplessness for 37 and a half hours was entertaining to you guys. I mean, I was literally propped up by caffeine and lack of sleep, and
Yeah,
my eyeballs felt like sand. But I'm glad you guys were entertained because I sure felt like
guys, go back and watch like the couple of streams which that we did when they were William and Rhea. I don't think Phil ever came on camera with us for that during that, but yeah, look at some of the streams they did. Like, hey, like this is day 2, day 3, or whatever. It's like, especially by the end of it, like the day before William flew back.
yeah, that was Saturday.
I pop on the computer to talk to them, and Ray also joined us for that. They both looked like they just had the life drained out of them. They both looked like they were just ready to just they just ready to just like go into a coma and that's something. I think, William, you probably agree with me on this, is that most, I think, people like regularly attend when you attend conventions that require travel. If it's not like something that you can get to, if you're sleeping in your own bed that night, this doesn't qualify. But if you're traveling for a Comic-Con, this I discovered very much is the case when I went to Tampa Comic-Con back in 2015, is that with big events like that, and you're running on your body's running on the excitement of it all, and you're bouncing back and forth between all different panels, all different events going on there. But what happens when you do that is that once you get home, I do recommend getting having set up that they take like the next 2 days or so off from school or off from work, because when you get back from that, your body is going to go into something called sleep debt, which basically means like, okay, because you were like running on it's like a dearth of sleep, you're going to spend the next couple days making up for it.
I had no such luxury. I was running 100 miles an hour going into Comic-Con, through Comic-Con, and after Comic-Con, and then the next week was the Star Trek convention. So, yeah, it was what it was. But we will be planning a lot better this year for that situation. So,
yeah, I mean, when I got back from Tampa, that was one of the best weekends of my life. But that was Mike and I, we drove down there that Thursday. Yeah, we drove down there that Thursday, spent Friday through Sunday there, drove back Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, it's like that. It's like I was.
Well, see, the Hall H thing,
I was end of the world.
What makes this one unique from any other convention that I would go to or anybody goes to is the Hall H thing last year was just it was a massive. We're there 4 days, and starting Friday morning, we're starting in the line at Hall H and then trying to go back and forth with that. We got there. Phil got there for us at 9 o'clock in the morning, and we relieved him. And we were there for a good from 10 o'clock off and on, because we would take breaks, and between me and Rayo, I would sit in the little line while she went and enjoyed Comic-Con, and then vice versa. So we were doing that. But by that whole thing, we were there from 10 a.m. that morning till 11 something that night. And I remember Vodka Stream was going on, and we were on Vodka Stream as we were walking from Hall H to our prospective hotels and stuff. So, but that was, like I said, I wouldn't have traded anything in last year for anything, even with the whole sleep scenario. You look back on it in retrospect. I can't wait to get back this year. It's going to be a lot of fun. I don't think F1's going to shock any. I think F1 looks like something that should make that kind of money. I don't know what they spent on F1. It's got to be a lot. But you know what? Here's the thing about F1. There's a lot of sponsorship dollars in there that I think is
one that's kind of snuck up on, because I mean, it's like I keep seeing the poster. I have to tell my brain this is not.
Oh wow, it's only 200 million, dude. That's not
only
a lot for
200 million
for a movie of this size and scope. remember Days of Thunder cost because the infrastructure that has to go into this is really massive. But here's the thing about Days of Thunder, and whenever you're dealing with NASCAR, F1, or anything like that, the same people who sponsored NASCAR are sponsoring this movie. So there's a lot of that 200 million. That's probably, the Saudis got in there. Saudis just emptied out a shoe and said, "Here's some money. Here's $1 billion."
That does tell you like how much, the business has changed in the last 30 years or so. I mean, it's like back in the mid 90s. I mean, but with Waterworld, costs 175. That
was money laundering, but yes.
But you see, like spending a budget of that size back then was considered absolutely, you were just a train wreck waiting to happen.
Yeah.
These
and
days,
this is Apple putting out this movie, by the way, which means
these days
they're going to miss that money.
You see 200, 300 million. Just, I mean, there's like 20 of those at that level every year now.
Yeah, Apple is a $1 trillion company. I don't think they're going to miss this money. Warner Brothers is distributing. I actually think we're going to get this movie. Because of F1 being out here. So who knows? But
but it's every time every time I see that poster, I have to keep mentally reminding myself this is not the next Fast and Furious movie.
Williams' reaction to Spaceballs may be funny. I remember eating pizza. I just none of it landed with me. And the whole concept of it was just stupid to me. So I just never really bought into it. So, hello RJ, what's going on? I'm past. I may go back and revisit the whole 28 franchise, but at the time it came out, it was like my appetite for anything zombies was damn near gone. I had seen, for that 3 to 4 year period, it was just zombie this, zombie that. I'm like, whoa.
See, I have that with vampires. It's my thing is, which is really interesting with all the Blade jokes we tell on here. But like joking with that aside, it's like your fatigue. You have zombie fatigue. I have vampire fatigue, and it's like because I've never been like a huge vampire guy, and I think part of that is rooted in the idea, the contrast of vampires and zombies. I find zombies scare me more because I wouldn't want to become a zombie. Like vampires, it's like, yeah, there's a trade-off of like, okay, you can't go out in daylight, you got to avoid garlic and silver and
but look at the guy, look at Stack from or Smoke, whatever one it was.
Stack.
They're living pretty good. I mean,
exactly. So that's like, so what's scary about that to me?
With the zombie, yeah, you can kind of like your brains.
So vampires, it's like like the scene in Sinners when when the group of vampires is outside of the juke joint, basically saying, okay, they're basically like offering vampirism to. They're saying it's like we are giving.
I am your way out.
They're presenting it as like a gift, as an escape, as like
we can be together forever.
Exactly. And I think I'm the kind. It's like I think I could see myself in that situation, thinking like, I might take them up on this, because it's like if I'm a zombie, it's like I'm just shambling around with like no.
Because once you're in his cabal, your morals though, you don't feel guilty about killing a lot of people.
Yeah,
so they're out there. They have black folks out there river dancing. I'm looking and somebody sent me a video of people who had seen it a couple times, and they're doing that shit in the aisles, man. I'm like, You know what? Hey, congrats, you got black folks to river dance. That's a cultural impact right there. I mean, they're doing the kicking and the shit. I'm like, wow. And then you watch the movie, and you're like, and then I didn't, these people, how do they know the words to the song, man? How do they know how to river dance? And then he explained it,
Yeah, because it's like
I know everything, because even though it was Smoke, right? He was like, when the clan. He's like, yeah, I believe him, man. I can see his memories, and I'm like, wow, that's
and see, and that's the thing about like how I think that's why Sinners works as well as it does, because it everything that they present, it's like I don't think I've seen a movie that makes a better sales pitch for being a vampire than Sinners does.
Yeah, if it's taking place in like the modern day, they'd be out there they could have people from like Nashville out there breakdancing with the cardboard or something, man. It would have been like, really cool. But okay, Antonio, I am going to talk about this. I don't have all the information I want to. There's going to be a big a Mr. Miracle and Big Barda animated that DC Studios is greenlighting. Obviously, the biggest question I have is if Darkseid is going to be in it.
Yeah.
Is this what design of Darkseid is he coming up with his own Darkseid? If he's doing that, Is that the central dark side? Because obviously dark side exists outside the multiverse.
Yeah, so
What
is it Ray
canon
Porter
it?
voicing him?
You
Yeah,
know, so we got, it's been greenlit, and I don't know enough about it, and I don't really want to. I don't want to speculate too much because I know a lot of people right now are asking that same question, and I don't know if they're going to like the answer or not, depending on who is casted for that. That'd be great for him to be it. But like I said, I love the Fourth World characters. I wish they'd have got around to Scott B and a lot of the big part, a lot of the things. I think I don't think Zack Snyder would have been involved with that. I think that those things would have been extensions from what he did. But then again, you had the bad management come in with the whole you had their hand. Once the bad management got their hands on things, it was like, you know what, I'd rather just not have it than have them do it because they're gonna fuck it up.
Well, what he's talked about with like the Fourth World and his plans for the Justice League sequels, it's very focused on the war of Earth and Apocalypse, but it's like I don't know that
that was for RJ. I'm sorry.
Okay. And he even described it as like it's like a full blown like a New Gods invasion movie. So that really is like we've talked a lot about his plans about like the role of like Darkseid and Desaad and Granny Goodness, all the apocalyptic characters. But I don't think there's he hasn't said a whole lot, and there hasn't been like a lot to indicate there's necessarily a whole lot from like the characters from New Genesis. So I don't know if he was necessarily focused too much on the New Genesis side of the New Gods, but like you said, like you could see like somebody else like coming in like tacking on like okay, let's like do like a New Gods, like have like Orion and have the have Highfather and those characters.
ACS. I wish I could have been there for Brad. Every time Brad tells me about some of these things, I wish I could have been there. I wish I could have picked up little Brad and be like, "No, little man,
it's called being younger than William.
I'm going to sit you in front of this." And like, okay, Brad, turn that off. No, Brad, you cannot watch this before this. It's going to fry your brain, kid. You're going to, so here's, give me that remote, little Brad.
Here's one that you guys are going to love. Here's one you guys are absolutely love. It's like, I saw a scary movie before I saw Scream.
Yes, yeah, I can. You're explaining a lot to me now. A lot of things are coming into focus now.
Yeah, well,
William doesn't know what laughter comedy is. Yeah, I do. He was in the womb being too damn serious there as well. Nah, I watched it until I didn't have to anymore. See, once I got my own TV as a kid, and I didn't have to watch some of that shit, I just didn't. I only watched the Cosby Show because the family watched it, and that was our family viewing night. And there was one TV. What was I going to do? Same reason I watched soap operas. I got connected to soap operas. Why? Because I had my mom and my sisters. So when the old man was on TDY or something like that, I was outvoted. So I ended up watching that until I could get control of the TV by the afternoon. So I'm not a big comedy guy per se. I don't pay to see comedy. I mean, like I said, the last comedy I paid to see was in 2008, and that was Tropic Thunder. That was funny as hell, but it's just not much that appeals to me. It is not my genre. It's like telling somebody who doesn't like country music to do some country line dancing all day. It's just, if it's not your thing, it's not your thing. It's not about hating something. It's just not my thing. So, and Spaceballs definitely wasn't my thing, because not only was it not funny, it was I at 13 considered a mockery of Star Wars, and I'm like, nope. Like I said, Brilliant Fry. There's a little dollar sign at the bottom of this chat.
That movie is hilarious.
And I can literally by the molecule destroy that movie. That movie is fucking awful. It has one good kill. It's one good kill and a bunch of botched kills. Yeah. So yeah, you guys wanted me to watch some of these awful movies? Send me to Comic-Con in style.
They turn Jason into Lord Zed, Jason X.
I had no desire to see The Naked Gun, so I would rather see Liam Neeson in something I could actually go see. But I know he's been wanting to do this for a while. So congratulations to him. You've done Liam Neeson. You've done enough movies that I do have gone to see. That you know what, have your fun making or promoting this one. But no, I will not be there.
I'm not asking the question because the Superman stuff is enough for me to go. The whole Darkseid drama, I hope they keep him, Ray Porter, as basically the Darkseid.
The luxury about that, Antonio, is we don't have to think about that yet.
Well, and see, I bringing it back to when we were just, breaking down the trailer last night. See, I mean, just chasm opening in Metropolis. It's like, I mean, that's got to be where the Elseworlds, interdimensional portal is, because again,
if that's what it is.
If there's no way to reverse that. If there's no way to reverse that, then you've got basically like irreparable damage to the city now.
Well, no, you just have to you could reverse if the Phantom Zone time does not, we could reverse that. That could easily be reversed. I mean, I would think right now, think small, think just Phantom Zone. Yeah. If we get something on the Phantom Zone, it's a bonus.
But even with the Phantom Zone again, it's something that it can be reversed, but it's not reversed by like 10 years of construction, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, you can. Temporal distortion. That's all. You could use the same energy that holds up and makes the Phantom Zone what it is to reverse any effects. So if the ground opens up, right? If the ground opens up, you can use the same energy that maintains the Phantom Zone to reverse any damage that it breaking apart does. It's they do it in the comics all the time.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Mighty Rex.
Sure.
Best and worst parody.
Hold on.
We already did the what? Oh yeah, we did do the original, because he was talking about doing the very first one.
We did part 3. Let me look at this.
Yeah, we did part 3, right? Well, which one? I mean, I don't. If I leave it to you guys, we're gonna be watching some tomorrow night. So hold on for a second, because maybe we'll watch Jason X.
I'm not, like I said, I am doing it tomorrow for fun. But if we're watching Jason X, I'm sorry, we're now we are starting to determine William's diet from July 24th to July 27th. Where did she click on that and see? Is that
well, that's the link to the watch party of the Friday the 13th one. Is what Aaron's getting at.
Can you click on it? Because I can't find it in here, because I'm so. Oh, here I got it. Here it is. Oh no, we did the original one.
Oh, okay. So I guess that rule, unless you want to do a repeat.
Nah. When did we do this? 8 months ago. Is that the level? Okay.
All now right. We want to do the second one with Jason. Do you want to have the second one with Jason have a paper bag over his head? Or we're gonna go.
Yeah, we'll do part 2. Let's do part 2 tomorrow. Well, I think we did part 3. No, yeah, we did part 3, because remember I was celebrating when Derek's eyes popped out. Yeah. Okay. Good. Eye there, Aaron.
That's the one trigger you judge. Remember there, Aaron. Best and worst scary movie. Best Young Frankenstein. Worst. I mean, the entire scary movie franchise. Maybe what other answer? What other answer could I give?
That. I have no answer for that. Sorry.
Daniel. Will Gunn ever tap into the multiverse that the Flash movie laid out on a silver platter? We'll just go with. See, that's where I'm really curious. William and I, we were talking a little bit after we wrapped up.
I think it's as possible as it. I think it's as much a possibility as anything out there. We're not dealing with a studio shield anymore. We're dealing with a crazy man, and I don't think anything is off the table. And I think that he has access to these things. He could use these things. And I'm not guaranteeing. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm saying there's a lot of things that I'm going to say can happen that I would have said absolutely not with these assholes involved. No, this guy I could see entertaining. He's giving you basically an eagle as a main, one of the main characters in season 2 of Peacemaker. There's literally, he has his own story arc. So I don't put anything. I think that because some of the things that he did straddle both DCEU and DCU, that you may see something. Anything is possible.
Yeah, like I said, when we were talking a little bit after we wrapped up last night, and I mentioned that I'm really curious between, again, like the portal, Phantom Zone, gateway, whatever that ends up being in the we see in the trailer, where the cracks open Metropolis. Between that and Peacemaker season 2, with like the two Peacemakers meeting in the multiverse elements that's going to have, and those are releasing in pretty close proximity. Superman's July, and then that's starting in August. We don't know where. We don't know where when the Peacemaker when that side of Peacemaker is going to show up. But I mentioned it, William, was between those two, it's like. I'm really getting the sense that he's actually the multiverse, the Elseworlds, or whatever term William definitely prefers Elseworlds when it comes to DC.
Yeah, because multiverse has been ran into the ground.
but I'm starting to really get the sense that that's actually it's integrated more into his intro to the DCU than he's let on, than a lot of people have really inferred.
I would
And
be a lot of fun if that's the case.
yeah, and well, and you made your bed. It's like
Yeah.
you think you were gonna see Ezra's Flash pop up in something.
Fuck Cornbread. Justice for Cornbread. He tried to turn Stack into a vampire. It was the funniest thing too, because it was like, okay, can I get my money? And that was when he bites him.
Yeah,
that scene, because they showed that scene in previews. I'm like, oh shit, how does he get out of this? And
I
he
knew that.
reaches for that gun like that. Bam! I mean,
everybody knew it's like, yeah, he's gonna try to bite him. Like, how's he gonna get out of this? And there you go.
But when he did it all quickly, the way he was stealth with that gun, man. Yeah, this was I did rather like this quote. When Sammy was like, "Was it like that for you?" And because prior to this, the quote that he's talking about is when they visit Sammy.
He says that the juke joint was the best day of his life.
Yeah, he says, I wake up at least once a week, paralyzed about that night. But before the sun went down, it was the best day of my life. And he said, "Was it like that for you?" And then when he comes down and says, "No doubt, it was the last time I seen the sun, the last time I seen my brother, and just for a few hours, we was free." I thought that was the whole movie. That movie just had quotable moments in it. That was great.
And that's where going to what I was saying earlier about
fuck
like
Cornbread though,
where I was talking about like the sales pitch it makes for vampirism. Where it works, it makes the vampires in it make a really good. They entice you very well with the idea that you're gaining immortality, and certainly for like the black characters in the movie, during that era and in the part of the South they're in, because it's incentive for them, because they're like, it's okay, I'm immortal now. It's like, what the fuck do I care about the KKK guys or whatever they're gonna try on me, because it's like I'm immortal, bitch. But
the non-vampire guy did a job on the KKK. That was hilarious.
Yeah, that's true. But then when you get to that part of the ending, which again, like I said, it's like this, they could not have made them look more Fresh Prince if they tried. But with that line,
caffeine eye cream. What's that? Wow, I might need some of that.
Yeah, but with that line, that line that Stack has, that scene kind of communicates the idea that they're kind of enjoying their immortality, but they're also kind of not, because it's he's sharing there. It's like, yeah, I get to live forever in this state of eternal youth, but here's everything I had to lose to do that, and also, by the way, I have to live off of blood, and et cetera, et cetera. And that's how Sinners is so well constructed, because like I said, it's like I could see myself in that scenario of being like, I can kind of get into this vampirism thing, and then you get to the end there and realize, yeah, but I mean, there's a price tag to it. And it's like,
but listen,
was it worth it? Yeah.
He could also stay up one day when the sun comes up and just let it go. I mean, at one, he does not, he regrets what he had to give up to be it, but I still think they enjoy that life. They enjoy that immortality, because they could end it if they wanted to. They could end it. They could say, bam, I'm dead. Where do we go, Yogurt? We're back. Where do we go? What's up? What I missed?
We're back.
Merchandising is here.
He's probably talking about Superman.
Oh, I don't believe we ever went anywhere. We just went in witness protection program. Yeah. Jason Goes to Hell. I'm afraid sometimes to speak the words out loud of, can the Jason Voorhees franchise get worse than what I've seen, because they will try to match me, and because they damn sure did during anything after 6 was just like, oh my goodness, this is like painfully awful. William Cornbread just had to take a leak. He didn't even want to come to the juke joint. Oh yeah, he went but he went for the money. He took the money.
He was the bouncer.
He said, how much money are you talking about? No, actually, his wife was the one that said how much money you're talking about. So, yeah. I mean, well, justice for everybody then, because the only one that didn't get turned into a vampire, didn't die, spoiler alert, was Smoke, right?
Well, he died, but again, not.
Yeah,
but he went out. He goes
and
out.
That's slobber in that movie. That's I would, if I could like it, take away from anything in that movie and just like eliminate it, the drooling shit.
That was a bit much for me too. That's the. That's why those two scenes where the ending where Smoke dies.
You're breaking up.
Yeah. Is that better?
Yeah.
the ending, like
Playing Conrad's wife.
where he meets he dies, but he's entering the afterlife with his wife and his and her kid, and then you know the contrast of his brothers, he's staying behind here as a vampire. It's again, it's the which one do you want? Which eternal life speaks to you more?
I'm always afraid to let you two in the chat together because I don't know what I'm going to get. Now we got eye cream serum and stuff going on. I'm going to have dark circles under my eyes no matter what, guys, because I kind of have dark skin. Oh, my goodness. Listen to these. Jason Goes to Hell or Jason X. They are both equally awful movies. It would be like if you wanted to torture me and then torture me in the afterlife. Both of those movies suck. And the kills in there are like, dude. Once the kills, see, listen, I never have gone to Friday the 13th looking for, Casino or looking for the John Carpenter. I never go to these movies looking for a classic movie. The one thing that the Friday the 13th franchise prides itself on is the kills and the stupidity of the people who keep showing up. But the kills, once the kills start sucking and start getting goofy, I mean, Jason is not Wile E. Coyote. It just got stupid and not enjoyable. I can watch a bad movie based on kills if the kills are good. Once the kills suck, I'm like, dude, that's what I'm here for. So yeah. Chuck Cage, did you see Gavin O'Connor proposed Suicide Squad 2 was making?
You will get a Task Force every brand new show or movie. I mean, you might.
Didn't hear about it. Oh yeah, there's no Me Without You. Yeah, when he was trying to convince him.
Well, there's literally no Me Without You because they're played by the same dude. Yeah.
I look in the midst of everything. Okay, now we're talking like a skincare shit. I'm already done. I've given up, so I'm not even. Let's see. I agree, William. I haven't seen the Nightmare on Elm Street, the Friday the 13th remakes. So the Friday the 13th one was awful. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I didn't like it either.
The Nightmare on Elm Street was cooked before it even began because you cannot. The thing that rightfully or wrongfully attracted people is Robert Englund. Robert Englund is that character, but when you try to make a movie about what Robert Englund's character, what Freddy Krueger really was and represents, you end up making that's far darker than they ever let you on in the 80s. We knew what Freddy was doing with the kids. He wasn't just killing the kids. Come on. Nobody back then was just killing the kids. They were doing things. But here we are hooping and hollering. Oh, Freddy, you cracked the joke. He's, oh, that's funny. Kill him that way, Freddy. You're cheering a child molester / killer. So when they tried to imply that that's pretty much what he was when Jackie Earle Haley played that, it was dead on arrival. They would have been better off just making some other supernatural movie and not calling it Nightmare on Elm Street because, people were not going to buy, because so much of him was in that role. And nobody really wanted to say out loud what Freddy was really burnt up for. So, yeah. That's how I keep my eyes from aging. All right. And the gym. Mr. Z, how you doing? My favorite mask person. I watched Barbarian the movie, and that was one of those movies of that like a 6-month period where all the endings of the movies pissed me off. I was on board for 3/4 of Barbarian, and then the last 15 minutes of Barbarian really pissed me off. And there's a couple of movies that have really done that. Barbarian's one of them. 10 Cloverfield Lane was really one of them. I thought that was an awesome movie that got screwed up by the ending. Us. Nope. The fraud beginning pissed me off and made me angrier at the ending.
I think probably Us is my of like all his twist endings. That's my favorite because that's like in horror movies. Anytime you like make it so like the spoiler for anyone who hasn't seen it, they make it that basically the reveal in Us is that you were rooting for the bad guy the whole time and you didn't realize it, and that like
that was so unnecessary. They did not need to explain. It's like Signs. Once I saw the Moss Spider-Man alien thing. I'm like, oh, this is done. William, will we ever see it? I think you will. I'm wondering if I ever get a chance to interview or meet him. I want him to talk about and give
You
me
might
some
get
answers
that
on
at Comic-Con this year.
Legion of Superheroes, because this is one of the reasons why I like having Elseworlds and things like that, because Legion of Superhero makes it to where you can tell a future story without corrupting your current story and saying, okay, well, you were locked into this because 1,000 years from now, this is what we're doing. So that's why I think he might want to keep those doors open. Let's see. Okay, what do you do? Red, do you want me to put some links in here for the rest of the ladies that are getting their eyes? This is now okay. Friday the 13th Upon Trash was actually a pretty good movie. This is where you started to transition to where we are no longer expecting you to come into these movies with any sense of realism or anything else. The first one especially because it's not him. And the second one, he was killed in a manner that, okay, I don't know. The third one, you're like, okay, I'm sorry. His neck is broken. He's been hung. He's got a pitchfork coming out of his head. I mean, he's dead. After the third one, you're like, he ain't dying. For Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter, and the way they built it up, because this was 1984, the way they built it up was that this was it. Little did we know we had like 10 more of these motherfuckers left, but at that point, we weren't thinking Friday the 13th was going to be forever. So when you say we're finally going to kill him, final chapter, and of course he doesn't, and that had some of the better kills. 3 still stands in its own universe for me as far as Friday the 13th movies. Friday the 13th Part 3 and 3D has some of the best kills in horror, period. I mean, you get the 3D harpoon to the eye. You get a guy whose skull gets crushed to his eye pops out in 3D, which is like, I think 9-year-old me was like, I never want to leave this theater. So yeah, Part 4, I love Part 4. Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff. I looked at his IMDb. He's been in a lot of stuff. You over here now? Are you in Vegas? No, he is very much alive. I like most of Barbarian. That ending, I'm sorry, the ending of Barbarian sucked. The ending, and this is where, like I said, this is, guys, when I get angry, when we're doing these watch parties, and I don't get angry if I think the movie's horrible. I get angry when I get drawn in, and then your ending is not consistent with the quality of the movie you gave me for, like, if you did a 90-minute movie and 75% of it was exquisite, and then the last 15 minutes it just starts to unravel, you just wasted my time. If you can't stick the landing in a horror movie, I just can't, do it. That's one of the easier things I've seen filmmakers do. You usually have the ending well planned out. It's almost like some of these guys get so enthralled to their story, they don't even know the ending. And I'm like, well, that's okay for me, but for you to just have things unravel like that, so nah. I hated Barbarian because most of it was good. But if most of the movie is good and then the ending lets me down, it just blows a fuse in my head. Like what was the one that really pissed me off on Thanksgiving? Smile. I wasn't mad because Smile was trash. I was mad because, okay, we're moving on from this what we did in the first one. We're escalating. We're doing this, and then that ending pissed me off. And now had Smile or Barbarian been completely garbage, I would have. When movies are complete garbage, you automatically build up the immunity to how bad they are. Like when we were watching In a Violent Nature, I'm sorry, that movie was bad. It got to the point where I started guessing how bad this ending was going to be. So yeah, but I wasn't really angry about that movie. I felt like I wasted time with that movie. But when it came to like Barbarian, 10 Clover Lane, Us, Nope, Nope gave you a warning though that this might not turn out too well. When they had the whole pancake thing eating the people, the hot pocket eating the people, and it was bad. And I'm not the kind of guy that's like, oh, horrible CGI with my little monocle, and I don't give a fuck usually. It has to be really bad for me to even notice it. And that scene in Nope looked like something, I shit you not, out of like Mork and Mindy. And I'm like, okay, maybe this isn't going. And then I'm thinking to myself, where's the monkey? Never got to see the monkey again. And then when I got the reasoning of why we even had the monkey in the first place, I wanted to throw something at the screen. I'm like, you can't lead with that. There has to be a payoff for that fucking monkey tearing people up. And I didn't get it. Right? I got a pot pie eating people. That's what I got from a very good director and writer. So there you go. Okay, here we go. Rhea. Yeah, like I said, as it went on, I didn't start disliking Nope, but I got there. I got to the point where I'm like, there's Starman. Wasn't overwhelmed by Starman. Talking about the one with Jeff Bridges or whatever his name is. All right, am I have to time you kids out? Okay, this is where we started to get silly. Now we have a telekinetic. So we got like Marble Girl in here fighting Jason. That's no fun. I don't need it to be sport for when Jason comes to get you. I just need you to die spectacularly. But yeah, they had her, and then that's the one where he's underwater, and that was when it started getting a little bit on the crazy side, if I recall. That's the one with the telekinetic in there. So yeah, that was a little bit more of a stretch, but still some enjoyable kills. Not the best, but it's watchable. It's one of the watchable ones in that era. And then after that, it just is kind of like, ugh. Like I said, you want to start with if you want to know what the bad Friday the 13th movies are, start with the remake, and then Jason Goes to Hell, Jason vs. Freddy, all that. Just suffer through those. And then once you start getting closer to the original, then it gets better for you. So yeah. See some of the last of the most go. Yeah, there was some gore. This people got split down the middle, if I can recall on that one. Per of me doesn't want Sabrina for Rapunzel anymore. So you talking about Sabrina Carpenter? Yeah, Part 3 is one of the great horror movies ever made. And it's 1982 3D. I like I said, I still, decades later, wish I was sitting in that theater when some of the shit that happens in there. Like I said, 8-year-old me, 9-year-old me. 9-year-old me was like, this is the way to go. This is what I want to spend the majority of my life watching for the rest of my days here on this earth. I mean, you had everything in that movie. And you didn't have a lot to work with in the 1980s. You had everything in that movie. And the same 18-month period that Jaws brought me a fucking cardboard shark that stopped in the middle of the screen, these guys were giving me an eyeball that I thought was going to hit me. I ducked when Jason used that harpoon gun. That's how good the 3D was back then. They knew they were making a 3D movie, and they made it, damn it. So yeah, 3 is one of the best horror movies, period. But it's definitely my favorite Friday the 13th movie. Every entry into the franchise is cash grab like Halloween sequels. The first Halloween, like I said, the first one that they did in 18 was really good. I didn't like how they retconned everything, but that's fine. They did what they need to do. After that, like I said, when I come in to the theater looking for what John Carpenter gave me in 2018 and got Halloween Kills. A movie that I was swinging at the sky. That movie was bad. And then Halloween Ends is just, I can't think of enough awful things to say about that movie. A lot of them. I'm pretty sure there's a lot that I've missed, but I love 80s horror. I love 80s foreign horror too. Some of the foreign stuff that they were doing and with the Italians over in the early 80s when Dario Argento stuff started, when we finally started figuring out and stealing from Dario Argento, which he did not mind. This is when 80s horror got good. But 80s horror is great, man. And even the bad stuff. I mean, some of the stuff like he didn't have a blood budget. Oh, let's use some of this. And like, oh, that's blood's not pink, sir. But it'd be like, you know what? You had $12 to make the movie, and sometimes there was just so much out there. And then when the whole let's go straight to video trend started, you started seeing shit that didn't have to be good. The covers of these movies, right, would be these painted covers with these chicks with the huge, wearing basically nothing because that's what was going to get you to buy it. The boyfriend's this ripped up dude, with a bandana or something, and there's a monster in the background, or he's fighting this evil killer that's just a serial killer, and it would look like Conan the Barbarian type shit on the cover, right? You get it, okay, this looks great. You pop that shit in, and you're like, are you fucking kidding me? The chick was hot. The killer looks like something from Sesame Street. The guy who is supposed to be like, her savior gets killed in 10 minutes. And it's horrible. But it was fun. That's what they did. They usually lasted like 75 minutes. You'd get like 3 or 4 of them because you knew you were just going to burn through these things. But yeah, that was, boy, when video rental happened, because listen, you can only have one hit movie per weekend. They weren't all hits. So we had to have something to watch. We're talking Rapunzel, and I don't know why, so I'm going to let you guys. Yeah, I got a problem with that. I got a major problem with that. To me, Daniel Martin, that's fraud. That's fraud. And to do it in the 5th movie, listen, if your movie has, let's say, even if it's an awful movie, let's use Ace Ventura. All right, so you guys enjoy 2 of those movies. I suffered 2 minutes of them, but we get an Ace Ventura 3, right? And it turns out it's not him. Even for as dumb as those movies are, fans of it are going to be like, dude, that's fucked up. So yeah, that's kind of how I feel about that movie. And I didn't like the twist either. I didn't like how they let you know. It's kind of stupid. Oh yeah, Pumpkinhead. Yeah, Pumpkinhead. I've seen those. Those are great movies, man. Both of them. Oh wow, that sounds like some hardcore shit right there. You have fun, Azteca. There's plenty of new stuff, dude. There's a lot of horror being made, and now there's instead of going straight to VHS or it just goes straight to streaming, dude. Shudder has a ton of stuff on there. Some stuff I'm like, you guys are producing this original. You look at the Shudder original stuff, I'm like, wow. Everybody should. Shudder's dirt cheap, by the way.
The Creep tapes. That's my big thing. I'm following on Shudder. I know it's the Creep tapes.
Yeah, dude. Shudder is not expensive. You will not even notice the reveal on Shudder. Shudder's got a lot of good stuff on there. As a matter of fact, as we go further down, I really want to start taking some shit from Shudder. They got a lot of good stuff on there. Too much good stuff on it. Yeah, if you're talking about Barbarian, it's you stop right there. Barbarian was stressful because it was full of commentary about preconceived notions and stereotypes of people. The main character was afraid of ending up. Yeah, I got it. It's just that ending was horrible. I see another one that says that. I saw no Dusk Till Dawn in that movie. But I hear that a lot, though, so I guess I'm in the minority. Nope, made me want to see more Chimps. Because Chimps can do that. What that Chimp did in those first minutes, Chimps can do that. Chimps can beat the hell out of you. And you're not going to overpower. They're really strong. Apes in general are much stronger than humans, but chimps are really strong. If you've ever picked one up, I picked one up when I was overseas. It's just muscle. Their arms, it looked like they were working out in the gym, but no, that's how their body structure is, and they can rip your face right off. So what that chimp did in that movie was accurate to what a chimp could do if it ever lost his mind. I felt bad for the lady in Barbarian, incest woman. Oh yeah, and it got nasty too. But the scene when the bum tells the main character that she never comes for him, and then she bursts out of nowhere and grabs him. A lot of for day and night films, but yeah, that was. Let's see. I'm just gonna through come. We only got about another 5 minutes or so, guys, and I gotta get hungry. Well, and perhaps you. Oh, that's easy. You just go backwards. Go backwards and put 3 as number 1. Then there you got my favorite ones. So if you start with the most recent Friday the 13th stuff, you know, Freddy versus Jason and all that nonsense, and just like I said, you could scramble them on any given day. I could hate Freddy versus Jason more than I hate Jason X. I mean, there's no. I could wake up just feeling a certain way. I'm like, you know what, that sucked more than that, but they both suck. Perhaps you should do a list of your most favorite to least favorite Friday the 13th. Like I said, where we number 1 is Friday the 13th part 3. Number 2 is going to be number 4. Number 3 is going to be number 2. This is 5 and 6 are after that. 7 was okay, and then 8, 9, 10 were equal trash that literally you could throw up, dice up in the air and hit the right number for me. So, but I'll do it in detail. I kind of like talking about things I enjoy, though. I mean, half of the Friday the 13th movies are trash, so I don't want. I want to talk about the ones that are like really good. I was referring to the ambulance driver that started killing because his son was killed. But yeah. So you got 2 movies that aren't really. Yeah. No, we're not. Bone Tomahawk it has a gruesome scene in it, but it's really offensive movie. The eye popping out was awesome, dude. Like I said, based on what we had in 1982. That shit, and like I said, wearing my 3D glasses and that kind of 3D, the way they did it, you're sitting in a theater instead of the shark stopping, and you're like, this is garbage. The eyeball, it literally, the way they did the 3D in Friday the 13th, so it would shoot out at you, right? And it would stop, but it's like right here. It felt like it was right here and it was still moving. Whereas the shark was like, and it was the sad thing about Jaws in 3D. First, the fact that it was ever made, but 2, when it's so awful. It's crashing through.
It's really bad.
Crashing through this plastic glass shit,
and then
it just stops.
Freezes there.
Something sharks really don't do, because when they stop moving, it's hard for them to breathe. But here's this 3D shark. It's not even, dude. Like,
it's not even swimming. It's just slowly just floating towards it, and then it gets here and just.
Jason's eye, or Derek's eye, came out at you. It was moving, and then it stops, and it's shaking and shit, scaring the shit out of you. That shark nose stopped like in the front row, and I'm come on, what is this, man? This is so lame. Lame. Been laying on it lately. I don't think that movie's as bad as a lot of people think it is. I mean, I never thought it was going to be good to begin with. So when I was kind of pleasantly surprised. Like I said, guys, you want me to watch awful things that I don't like? Send me to Comic-Con in style. Listen, I'm happy for you. Those last 2 movies were eye-watering bad. And they weren't just bad. It's almost like they knew they were bad, because that dialogue, the dialogue in Halloween Kills is evil dies tonight. And that scene where Michael's just mowing them down, and they just keep on. Now you go. He kills them. Now you go. He kills them. And I'm like, I'd be standing like, okay, he's not dying and he's killing a lot of you. Maybe we should try something else. Maybe we should get in an aircraft or something and shoot him from there. I don't know. But the first one was really good. I enjoyed the first one. Those second 2 were some of the worst horror movies I've ever seen. But hey, everybody's got their thing. I'm happy there are people out there that enjoyed those movies, because I certainly did not. William, if you were leading us through a zombie apocalypse, what the first thing you do? find something that we could fly out on. I mean, if I were leading to his eyes, first of all, I'd probably kill you all and eat you for food since there's not going to be much. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I would have to contact some military personnel. That would be my instincts, to contact some military personnel to get us out of there, or to at least bomb the shit out of everything around us so that we could escape. It depends on what kind of zombies we're fighting too, because I would be doing like they did, in that one where you, like on a Quiet Place. I'm like, okay, can they swim? If they can't swim, and we found that out, we're getting to where they can't go. Wherever the zombies can't get to, that's where we're going. So yeah, that would be me. Evil Dead 2 is really good, but there's much better movies than Evil Dead, in my opinion. What we doing, a seance?
Evil Dead 2, there came a point, first time I saw that, where it's like about 2/3 of the way through. It's like you can see as it's happening, like the tone shift of the franchise. Because there came a point, like 2/3 into it, I'm like, what the fuck am I watching here?
Yeah, it's a special movie.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Especially as the contrast to the first Evil Dead, and then there's the circumstances like why, it's a semi like reboot sequel.
Yeah, because the whole movie rights thing.
Yeah, well,
that's why I brought that up the other night, because I had to do 2 different licenses. That's why those guys who were doing that Eric, what were they doing? They were doing the Schumacher
cut.
That's why I can't believe they got that far without this coming up. But not their brightest hour. Yeah, not their brightest hour, I have to say. Let's see, Final Destination Bloodline. The Joke was the movie. I'm sorry, The Joke was the movie. I can't. Ugh. I should be more direct, not cannibal, but Italian, Amazonian cannibal movies. Hey, yeah, you got to specify. Will you or Brabby? Nah, I just don't have a lot of time.
Yeah, I think I will when we get to that, because that's what, like, I'm.
Okay. If there's a popcorn bucket, I'll be there.
Well, that's an easy popcorn bucket, mate. That's just the shark.
Yeah.
I just reach in the shark's mouth, and yeah. What actually would be a good popcorn bucket for that too is like the shark, while it's like eating Quinn.
Oh yeah, I need a bigger boat.
That movie's PG. That movie's PG for 75. Jaws is a very violent movie.
Well, there's like nudity right at the beginning of it.
Yeah,
that just had to got you a PG. Now we didn't have PG-13.
Yes, well, Go watch the the opening of Jaws. There's like the girl is swimming through the night ocean. Like, you could make out more than probably I think you would have expected.
The most disappointing horror movie I've seen this year was The Ritual. Pacino plays an exorcism comedy. I have not seen that movie. Boat. Get to a boat. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Get to a boat. Got to stay in the ocean until the whole zombie fight. Yep, pretty much. Let's see. All right, guys, I think that's where we're going to wrap it up tonight. Tomorrow night, like I said, stay tuned for the event. I will probably post it sometime in the afternoon. Depending on how the day goes, tomorrow's going to be a pretty busy day. We got a lot of tourists back in town, knock on wood, because they have not been frequenting us lately for reasons I won't go into on the show. But yeah, we are. I get the tourist traffic this week, so I may have to not do Friday the 13th. But if I do, then we'll do part 2, since we have already done.
So you can see Jason with the paper bag over his head instead of the hockey mask.
It's a sack. Yeah, Brian Wilson passed away. There were so many people who thought he was already dead. It's kind of sad. Just because that, like I said, the Bare Naked Ladies are to blame for that. They literally made a song lying in bed, just like Brian Wilson. First song I ever heard from them. All right, so all right, guys. So I won't. Other than Friday the 13th, watch along. I won't be on the air earlier than that on my channel. If Junkie sends me a link, well, we get to talk. It's the only place I can go talk about Superman without hating by everybody I'm talking to. So if he extends it, I will be there. And then next week we're going to have a special guest. If you were watching Film Junkie last week, you'll know who that is. And that person's actually going to be a regular feature, at least one day on the show.
Sounds good.
So we're gonna have some fun there. But yeah, guys. So hey, like, subscribe, and if you want me to sit through some of these just ridiculous movies, I'll do it. I'll do it so that when I'm down in San Diego enjoying that 75-degree weather instead of 114-degree heat, instead of holding my hands out for maybe Rhea to put some cereal in it and pour some milk in it because that's all I can afford and just eating like a raccoon, maybe I'll be able to go to one of the nice taco shops down there. Maybe I'll be able to get one of the nice. Wow, I took pictures of some of those. Dude, go back and check out my Instagram, and I ate far too many of these. Right where the Hall H thing, where we were doing our waiting, right by the ocean, and they got the whole yacht thing. They have these things where the guys are cooking just food up and along any type of food you want to. They had these sausages, dude, and they're wrapped in like tons of bacon. And I had like 6 of them. And I think I may have taken a year off my life with each one I ate because you could taste the death in those things. They were so tasty. So yeah, but if you want me to, kick back and relax and, and instead of drinking tap water, I can actually buy a Gatorade or, a Starbucks like that. You know what? If you want your Geek Daddy who is going to be presenting you content as if you were there in San Diego, if you want him to drink McMud from McDonald's, don't donate. Don't super chat. Don't I would rather suffer here with you and watch these awful movies. I would actually suffer through the unsufferable movies like Spaceballs and Galaxy Quest. Some of the dumbest movies I think that ever been made. I will watch these with you, but it's give and take. I'm not going to watch these and then go down and have to hang out at the Quickie Mart to get my meal. If I got to get a nice designer cardboard box to sleep in, although that would have probably been safer than last year, then yeah, but you know what? Like I said, next month, now's the time. So we'll have until the end of this month to hook me up and send me in style. And I'm going to actually be I am going to actually be sponsoring someone else there too. So there will be someone else there, and I will let you guys know who that is later on, who will be covering Sci-Fi Center stuff for me, because that's another lesson I learned is there's a lot of ground to cover in San Diego Comic-Con and a lot of people to push through to get to what you want to get to. So we're going to split up the work. All right. Some homemade Mexican food. I can give you yeah, but those places ain't cheap. So yeah. William is talking pale for these terrible movies. Yeah, you damn Skippy. I am not suffering for free. He said, I had me in San Diego eating Pop-Tarts and a water if I'm going to watch these movies. So McDonald's coffee is actually it's no. McDonald's coffee is it's like liquid asphalt, but you can have it though. 7-Eleven's right there. Listen, 7-Eleven, I love them for the hot dogs and the other stuff. Hey, they actually I told you guys a couple weeks ago, 7-Eleven's pizza is really good. It's a lot better than I ever hoped or expected it should be. I'm like, okay, let me try this so I can tell myself how disgusting it would be for the rest of my life. No, at least the ones I've gone to and got them. Because I tried one, I'm like, hey, maybe I just got good, like got lucky. The guy was having a good day. Now, went to another one. That pizza was good. So, but I don't want to be eating that for Comic-Con though. So, all right, guys. So that's it. Please like, subscribe, share the stream, and think of movies you want me to suffer through. But understand that, like I said, this is a transaction. So, see you Don't know if we're doing a watch Friday this Saturday. I know we're doing one. We most likely will do it tomorrow night or later on tonight. But keep an eye on the alert bell and the community page. You guys will get the alerts. But right now, my mind is not made up. All right, say bye, Brad.
See you guys.
See you later.